They say Knight Rider was about one man and his car, but really, it was about how much weirdness you could cram into primetime TV. From train wreck Trans Ams to a theme song stolen from 19th century ballet, buckle up. Here are 18 bizarre Knight Rider facts you never knew. Number 18. Most TV productions rent cars from dealerships. Knight Rider, they rated a train derailment. In 1982, a shipment of Pontiac Trans Ams crashed during transport. Universal bought them for pennies, fixed what could be fixed, and turned them into kits. Some were hero cars. Used for close-ups. Others were gutted into stunt machines, destined to crash through walls or launch off ramps. It was Hollywood resourcefulness at its finest. Make a cool show without blowing the budget. Today, collectors treasure those kits. Imagine telling people, my prized car used to be crumpled on a freight line, but then NBC patched it up and gave it a snarky computer brain. Number 17. Creator Glenn A. Larson once admitted his pitch was simple, the Lone Ranger, but with a car. Think about it. Michael Knight rides into a new town each week, helps innocent people, defeats the bad guys, and drives away with no strings attached. Instead of Silver the horse, he's got a black Trans Am. Instead of Hi-Yo Silver, it's Turbo Boost. NBC executives instantly got it. They didn't care that the premise sounded absurd. They knew kids would be glued to their TVs, and they were right. Larson basically recycled an old Western template, slapped on neon lights, and created one of the most beloved action shows of the 80s. Number 16. When you first heard KITT speak, you might have had deja vu. That calm, controlled tone was modeled on HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. Larson wanted KITT to feel like cutting-edge tech but not robotic. He asked William Daniels to perform with intelligence, warmth, and a dash of dry wit.
Super pursuit mode.
The result? A car that felt more like a wise uncle than a gadget. Sometimes sarcastic, sometimes nurturing, sometimes downright judgy about Michael's driving skills. Daniel struck the balance Hal never did, sounding smart without plotting murder. Basically, KITT is what happens when you take cinema's creepiest AI and give it a sense of humor, plus a turbo boost button. Number 15. Picture this. Instead of Knight Industries 2000, the car was going to be Trans Am 2000. Yep, TAT, T-A-T-T. Thank the TV gods someone vetoed that. KITT rolls off the tongue and became iconic. TAT sounds like an off-brand robot vacuum. Imagine kids chanting TAT, TAT in playgrounds, or Hasselhoff delivering serious lines about trusting TAT with his life. It would have ruined the cool factor instantly. Sometimes success hinges on the smallest change, and this one made all the difference. KITT is legendary. TAT would have been forgotten before the first rerun. Number 14. You probably think the Knight Rider theme was pure 80s synthesizer genius. Surprise, it's a remix of 19th century French ballet music. Stu Phillips adapted Leo Delibes' Cortège de Bacchus from Sylvia, 1876. He added pounding bass lines, electronic layers, and turned it into one of TV's catchiest themes. So yes, every time you hummed it as a kid, you were channeling French high culture. It's basically the only ballet theme that ever inspired a generation to imagine themselves jumping over exploding trucks in a Pontiac. When fans call it one of the greatest TV themes ever, remember, it's not just catchy, it's classy. Number 13. David Hasselhoff and William Daniels, the heart and voice of Knight Rider, filmed an entire season without meeting. Daniels recorded KITT's lines separately in a sound booth. Hasselhoff acted opposite silence or stage directions. Imagine pouring your soul into dramatic speeches, only to later hear a witty car answering back. They finally met at the cast Christmas party, and Hasselhoff supposedly gushed like a kid meeting Santa. Daniels, meanwhile, had no idea how popular KITT had become. The whole thing adds to the charm. Knight Rider worked because the chemistry felt real, even though the two leads never shared a set until much later. Number 12. Most actors slogged through 12-hour days on set, not William Daniels. He'd stroll into the recording studio, read KITT's lines, and be done in 45 minutes. No cameras, no stunts, no makeup chair. He once said it was the easiest paycheck of his career. It also explains KITT's polished delivery. Daniels wasn't acting against chaos, just calmly delivering lines in a quiet booth. Meanwhile, Hasselhoff was dodging pyrotechnics and shouting over explosions. Daniels probably went home thinking, "Nice day at work." Hasselhoff probably went home smelling like burned rubber. Number 11. Daniels asked to be left out of the opening credits to maintain KITT's mystique. It worked. Fans genuinely believed the car was real. Remember, in 1982, advanced AI wasn't a household concept. Kids sent letters asking how producers trained a car to talk. Some adults weren't entirely sure either. For years, KITT's voice remained anonymous, fueling the illusion that he was more machine than man. Only later did Daniels embrace the recognition, especially after he found a second wave of fame as Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World. Yep, the same actor taught Corey Matthews and turbo boosted over semi-trucks. Number 10. KITT's pulsing red scanner bar is one of the coolest visuals in TV history, but it wasn't new. Glenn Larson reused it from Battlestar Galactica, where the Cylon's robotic eye swept back and forth menacingly. He slapped the effect on KITT's grill, and instantly, the car felt alive. That glowing eye wasn't just cosmetic, it gave KITT personality. You knew when he was thinking, you knew when he was annoyed. For a show built on a talking car, a simple lighting effect did most of the heavy lifting. Proof that sometimes, recycling old ideas makes them iconic. Number 9. Before Hollywood made evil clone tropes boring, Knight Rider gave us car KARR.
Michael, I'm in position. Get ready to jump.
The Knight automated roving robot, built identical to KITT but programmed for pure self-preservation, Car became a fan favorite villain. He looked the same, sounded similar, but turned every feature into something sinister. Episodes featuring Car felt like mini-movies. Kids were glued to the TV wondering if KITT could actually lose. Spoiler, he never did, but those battles gave us some of the most fun episodes in the series. Because let's face it, two talking cars fighting is peak 80s entertainment. Michael Knight might have been the star, but KITT vs. Car was the real main event. Number 8. Fans like to think there was one KITT. In reality, there were dozens. Each one was built for a specific purpose. Jumps, crashes, close-ups, or crazy stunts. Some had reinforced frames, others had hidden rigs. A few were barely more than empty shells dressed in KITT's iconic paint job. The show burned through so many cars that Universal basically had a Pontiac graveyard. Today, collectors track surviving KITTs like holy relics. A hero car with full dashboard still sells for absurd money. A gutted stunt shell, still valuable. Because when you're Knight Rider, even scrap metal has star power. Number 7. Every kid dreamed of sitting behind KITT's futuristic dashboard. All those glowing buttons, those flashing lights, that giant digital speedometer. Here's the secret. Most of it didn't work. Many switches were just stickers. Others were Christmas lights jammed into panels. If actors pressed the wrong one, nothing happened. Still, the illusion worked. The fake dash became iconic. It even inspired real-life car modders to build replicas with working electronics. So yes, KITT's interior was smoke and mirrors, but it made kids believe the future had already arrived. That's television magic at its finest. Number 6. The series begins with Michael Long, a cop who gets shot in the face. He survives thanks to experimental reconstructive surgery and is given a new identity, Michael Knight. It's easy to forget how dark that is. He didn't just get a new partner, he lost his entire old life. Early drafts leaned even grimmer, but NBC pulled back to make it more family friendly. Still, the bones of that story remain. Every turbo boost was driven by trauma. Underneath Hasselhoff's smile was a man who'd literally been rebuilt, just like his car. It gave Knight Rider a hidden edge kids didn't notice, but adults couldn't ignore. Number 5. KITT had more powers than a comic book hero.
Michael! Michael, please, stop! It's me, KITT.
Molecular bonded shell, turbo boost, smokescreen, grappling hooks, even flamethrowers. Some were used once and never again. Others seemed scientifically impossible, but that was the beauty. The writers didn't care about realism. They cared about wowing kids every week. Watching KITT solve problems with absurd tech was half the fun. Could he really jump a semi-truck? Who cares? Could he survive a rocket launcher? Of course. Knight Rider wasn't about science. It was about selling the fantasy that your car could do literally anything, except maybe find a parking spot. Number 4. By season 4, ratings dipped. The solution? Give KITT a makeover. Enter Super Pursuit Mode, complete with spoilers, fins, and extra panels that popped out dramatically. Supposedly, it made him hit 200 miles per hour. In reality, it made the Trans Am look like a rejected toy prototype. Fans are still split. Some loved the added flair. Others thought it ruined KITT's sleek design. But for kids, it was awesome. The transformation sequence looked futuristic, even if the end result looked like a Hot Wheels car on steroids. If nothing else, it proved the show wasn't afraid to get weird, even weirder than usual. Number 3. Glenn Larson wasn't just a producer, he was a businessman. He negotiated a 50-50 split on Knight Rider merchandise. That meant every toy car, every lunchbox, every KITT pedal car lined his pockets. And there was a lot. By the mid-80s, Knight Rider wasn't just a TV hit, it was a brand. You couldn't walk through a toy aisle without seeing KITT's face. Larson knew exactly what he was doing. The show wasn't just about ratings, it was about selling dreams in plastic form. And honestly, for fans, those dreams were worth every penny. Number 2. David Hasselhoff knew Knight Rider was special. He called KITT his co-star and treated the car like an equal. He often joked that kids tuned in for KITT, not him. And he wasn't entirely wrong, but Hasselhoff embraced it. Years later, he even took KITT on tour in Europe to promote his music career. Imagine showing up to a concert where the headliner is a German pop sensation. And his talking car. Only Hasselhoff could pull that off. Love him or roll your eyes, you can't deny it. The Hoff's passion helped keep Knight Rider alive long after cancellation. Number 1. The original Knight Rider pilot was shockingly bleak. Michael Long is gunned down, left for dead, then surgically rebuilt as Michael Knight. KITT's personality in those early drafts? Cold, robotic. More HAL 9000 than witty sidekick. He wasn't cracking jokes. He was borderline unsettling. NBC executives panicked. They wanted a family show, not a techno-noir tragedy, so the script softened. Hasselhoff's character became charming instead of haunted. KITT evolved into a sarcastic but lovable partner. By the time the series aired, much of that darkness was buried, but if you watch the pilot closely, the shadows are still there. Michael is a man without a past, bonded to a machine that talks but doesn't quite feel human yet. It's eerie, and it makes you wonder, what if Knight Rider had leaned into the creepier version? We might remember it less as fun 80s cheese and more as one of TV's strangest, darkest experiments. And there you have it. 18 bizarre facts that prove Knight Rider was equal parts brilliance and madness. From ballet-inspired theme songs to evil twin cars, it wasn't just a show about a man and his talking Trans Am. It was a neon-soaked snapshot of 80s imagination. Which fact blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you secretly still wish your car could sass you mid-traffic jam, hit like and subscribe for more retro deep dives. Until next time, keep your scanners glowing and your turbo boost ready. See you on the next ride.